I guess I'm gonna win this. Because... gotta... Oh! Woo! GG's. Yeah. Wow, she did a lot of healing out. Look at that damage output. 47k. Wow. Feeling totes good about that. Did really well. And look at all those achievements. So, we're going to go back to the on duty tab. Oh, well, no. I guess now we just got to find an exit. Is there an exit? Oh. I guess now we just hit the leave button. Yes, I am sure. So, that was actually really well. I won my first match on camera. Yeah! Now I don't look like a noob. So, oh. Didn't we already do that? I could have sworn we already did that. So now I'm going to introduce the currency tab. Currency tab, you automatically you have your cash, which is just in-game currency you get from doing your missions and selling gear. It's just what you use to buy stuff like that. Replay badges, as a free-to-play member, I believe when you start a character, you automatically get 50 replay badges. And what replay badges are for is you are allowed to use them to go back and redo missions that you have already done and say you are loot locked from them. I know this is going to be a little weird, but actually what I should do right now is I should switch over to my other characters so I can kind of illustrate this. Yes, I'm going to do that real quick. I will see you guys in a minute. And we're back. This is my level 30 that I have, and let's just say he's not one to mess with. So, I'm going to go, when you get to level 30 and you beat the main story mission, you're going to go into what is called endgame material. This is just some extra stuff, and there's different challenges and stuff. Like, you have your solo missions, which I will be showcasing once we get to the end of the story. And in here, you just go back. Most of them are going through and doing challenges that was already done in the story mode. So say I was just going to go to, I don't know, East End Regal Hotel. This is actually a challenge where you join Batman to take down the Joker before he ends the SCU launch party with a bang. Ha! Jokes. But see how it says Adra Helios is loot locked from the weekly bonus award? Well, I can reset this whole scenario content for 12 replay badges. So that is what replay badges do. So now we're going to jump back over to our other tune, and we'll see you guys there. And we are back. So that's what replay badges are for. Marks of Valor. Once we reach level 10, we will get introduced into the Watchtower, which is like the hero's center of operations headquarters dealio. And Marks of Valor will allow us to find certain vendors in the Watchtower and unlock PvP gear. We can buy PvP gear. And for those who don't know what PvP is what we just did. It's where a player, versus another player. And pretty much PvP gear is the best gear for PvP, as you guessed. Marks of Legend, as far as I know, these things are relatively useless, I guess, because all they do is they unlock more characters for Legends PvP. Like, you get enough Legends PvP, you could unlock just about or pretty much anybody that's in here. And there's just a whole mess of people that you can play around with. Damn, it's ugly. And the last thing in our currency tab are marks of triumph. Now, as of right now, from levels 1 to 30, marks of triumph are a little bit useless to us, but we are going to want to collect any and all that we can, which is mainly why we've been doing a lot of, or we've been trying to find a lot of those side missions, because it may only be one, but as a start, one is going to add up very quickly. I believe by the time we get to the end of our story mission, before we start going into endgame stuff, we're going to have at least 80 or 90 marks of triumph. And what the marks of triumph do is they allow you to buy higher tier gear. See, when you scroll over a piece of gear, notice how it says it's hands, because it's obviously a hands piece, and it says item level 4. Well, if we go over to our stats here, we'll see that our overall combat rating is 3. And combat rating measures our combat effectiveness based upon the best equipment in my possession. So pretty much what this does is our combat rating takes all the item levels that we have, adds them together, and kind of takes an average of it. That's pretty much how our combat rating is affected. So it takes the average. And combat rating is going to be effective once we reach in-game stuff as well, because you need a certain level of combat rating to get into certain level tier missions. Higher combat rating is you're just going to do a lot more damage to people, and you are going to mess people up. So, combat rating, good thing. Not necessarily right now, but it is a good thing. Your health is obviously your health. How much health you have depends on how hard you can, or how long you can take a beating, I should say. Power, this is like, if you're familiar with other MMO games, this is kind of like your mana bar. And for those of you that are just not familiar, power is required to use your abilities. And as you use your abilities, your power is drained. And your power also builds from performing weapon attacks and increases with each hit on the hit counter. Power also regenerates slowly out of combat, but that depends on something else. Defense. Defense reduces damage from non-player enemies. The higher your level, the more defense is required. So 1% damage reduction is 15 defense at level 1, and it's 71 defense at level 30. It's a big difference. You can see what these levels are going to do for us. It's just going to be amazing. Might. This is something that's going to be really necessary. Might increases damage from your powers. It adds 25% per power at level 1, up to 45% per point at level 30. So pretty much the higher might we have, the more damage our power is going to do. Okay, restoration. Restoration increases healing and increases the potency of certain defensive abilities. 4 restoration equals 1% base healing increase. And since I've done a little bit of research into my power, I believe that my power is actually a healing power. So if we went to like loadouts, oh, I just got damage abilities now. But so if I actually got into some powers and like went to my blessed or something, like I actually have healing abilities and I could be a healer. So restoration is going to be very important. I'm going to need like a lot of restoration to get some really good heals going.